This is a pigeon. This is another pigeon. And this is a third pigeon. And yes, they're all staring directly at you. But why? Have these birds got something to say to you? They do. And that's just one of the many secrets we uncover in this episode. These birds can be found all over the world, but unlike their wild rock pigeon cousins, most of them are too dumb to fly backwards, and yet they manage to adapt to living among us humans. So where exactly did city pigeons come from? Well, their ancestors were white-colored pigeons that flew over from Europe, where they still live today, and evolved into this separate species after arriving here in the 1800s. Humans probably helped this process along by feeding them scraps, but the two species can still interbreed if they meet. So scientists are entirely sure if domestication is what caused the split, or if it was something else. But there are even more mysteries to unravel, because what you thought was one bird may have actually been three. City pigeons don't usually hang out in groups larger than 4 birds, but when they gather together in a flock, there are multiple ways they keep track of each other. When they're close together, they use touch to figure out who's around. But as they spread out, they rely on visual cues, like the color of the other birds and how many there are. And once they're farther apart, they start using sound to keep track of the flock. And speaking of sound, let's talk about that stare. You see, pigeons have eyes on the sides of their heads, which gives them great peripheral vision for spotting predators. But that also means they can't really see directly in front of them, so they stare while they walk to get a better look at what's around them. And studies have shown that they do this more in novel environments, like when they're looking for food in an unfamiliar place. Or maybe they do it because, unlike us, they don't have thumbs, so they need to use their beaks for everything. Pigeons also stare at each other to figure out how the other bird is feeling. If they're interested in getting friendly, they stare at each other's eyes and take it as a sign that the other bird wants to be friends, too. But if they're staring at each other for any longer than 30 seconds, things could get violent. Since they're both staring intently, neither bird can tell if the other is getting ready to attack. So they just stand there sizing each other up until one turns away. But sometimes they stare so long that they both end up attacking each other at the same time. Although they seem pretty docile, pigeons are wild animals capable of killing other animals. After all, New York City is their natural habitat now. Although some people think they only eat birdseed, they're actually scavengers and will happily chow down on just about anything, including other animals. They might swallow small prey whole, but larger meals require some strategy. They might toss their food around to make it easier to eat, like breaking up a big piece of bread into smaller pieces, or knocking an egg out of a nest to roll it into the street where they can gobble it up without predators around. And as far as we know, they're not picky eaters, but some people would like them to be. Pigeons can carry diseases that are dangerous to humans and other animals, including Salmonella and E. coli. And they often pick up these pathogens by eating food that's been left out by humans. That means we can reduce the spread of disease by not feeding them and by keeping our distance. But since they're so good at adapting to new environments, that can be pretty hard to do. They're also surprisingly good at exploiting new food sources. In cities, they've started eating more restaurant food than birdseed, even going so far as to figure out how to open takeout containers to get to the tasty morsels inside. And although they've done well by scavenging human food, it doesn't always go their way. Studies show that they prefer to eat leaner cuts of meat, but they'll happily munch on the fatty stuff if it's all they can get. And to help them digest all this new food, they've developed stronger guts than their wild cousins. They're pretty good at adapting to new foods and new environments. But as the climate changes, it might be a challenge for them to keep up with the shifts in flowering times and food availability. So, luckily for them, they're already pretty good at solving problems, and they're certainly smart enough to realize there's something weird going on in this video. Even if we remove all the obvious signs of human activity like cars and buildings, pigeons are still smarter than a lot of other animals, including dogs. They're capable of recognizing themselves in the mirror, and they can even plan for the future. In one experiment, they chose to save food for later rather than eating it right away. So next time you see a pigeon, remember, it's not just a bird pooping on your city. It's an intelligent creature with a complex social life that has adapted to living alongside you, and now you have secrets of their own.